yeah, it got away from Miami really quickly. Is show the scoring plays. There we go. So 12:07 in the game. So 3 minutes into the game, they hit the first touchdown. You had an opportunity to get off the field on that drive, did not. And obviously, Miami had to lean on something. You got to kind of pick your poison and go, right? Take one thing away and try to make them do another thing. You hadn't seen Bryce Young in college, so we try to take away the run game because you think that they're going to run more. All the players said that. The coach said, I thought we were going to run more. Again, to Mark's point, when we're talking about Bryce Young being the starter, what did you say? Coming into spring, Nick Saban was like, no, this is the guy. We're good. And he gave that guy the ball way more than we expected. And you saw that, and he did wonderful things with it. If you looked at the numbers when he was blitzed, he was cool as a cucumber and just dot. And even on that first drive, that was disheartening. But okay, one drive, look, okay, sometimes get hit in the mouth. They had a great script. We'll be okay. You get a couple first downs in the next drive, and where I think things really fell apart was that 3rd and 7, and you run inside zone. And I tweeted it, and I said, oh, no. And, that's my fan. Oh, no. Because if we're doing that now.
I only tweeted one time the entire game, and that's when I tweeted.
That was, I said, this could be a problem. Because people are not going to like this comparison. I don't care. Mark just had an FSU show. FSU, in their game, went for it. Even though in a couple spots they went for the win and it fell short. You know what I mean? But the desire and intent of that play call, of that decision, was to win. That was not a decision for Miami to win. That was a decision for Miami to be competitive and not get blown out. However, if you are not bold with your decision making against Alabama, you don't have a chance to be competitive. So the best laid plan of cautious conservatism with selected optimism, in that point, you had to be bold. You had to at least run a play and throw the ball past the sticks. I wanted to see something that there was no chance that was going to be successful in that spot. You could tell from the alignment. You could just say, they were like, I know these fools aren't going to run up the middle. Man, let's go. All right, coach, let's go. That right there was a really telling decision of, if you think that Derek King at 90%, which is about what he probably is, if he's not really affecting the game in a multiple zone read, potential QB option run situation, it belied so many more things. It was, the stone in the ocean and the ripples that came out. That's what all of that, the multiverse for you Marvel fans. That one really just was, whoa, okay, hold on. Right here is really where you see that. And then, they did what they do. And again, it was that same kind of thing like I talked about before, even though they lost the game. I didn't see this coming, but even though it's like St. Thomas Aquinas in high school, you make one mistake, you get stopped, they come down, they get a turnover, they score, you get stopped again. It was that kind of progression. It ends up being 27-0, and I know the Bama Roll SB Nation site, they were tweeting during the game also. They said, Miami fans can quit crying about calls and everything. There were some really, the refs adjudicated that game very poorly. There were some really big calls that went uncalled on Alabama that would have made the score look more palatable. I'm not saying that we would have won, but there were some major missed calls for their favor. Like pretty much all of them. I think there was one that went Miami's favor, but like all of there were lots of bad calls. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. And again, I'm not excusing that for why we lost, but you also got down into the red zone twice and didn't score. You know what I mean? You also had the opportunity to intercept the ball in the end zone. You didn't do it. Also, shout out to, I want to get the handle right. Hopefully it's not too far in the past. 365 Canes Football on Twitter. He did a whole bunch of cut-ups of individual plays. One of them I saw in real time, and I thought, I was like, no, I saw this, but I got distracted by something else that happened on this play. The second one I missed. The first one was the strip sack fumble. On that play to the far side, the top side of the field with the 4 receivers, that was a touchdown. Mike Harley undressed Jordan Battle and was double move, gone. They're playing cover 0. There's nobody back. Jordan Battle had his heels at 8 yards, flat-footed. Harley hit him with the Harlem Shake and is out of there. And if that ball is thrown at all, if that ball is thrown, it's a touchdown. Like I said, I got distracted from the commentary during the game because that was the strip sack fumble turnover play. So I'm focused then, and my commentary said, 51, DeLon Scaife, get beat clean, didn't even touch Christopher Allen coming around the corner. I'm focused there. And I was like, I thought I saw it, and I forgot to come back to it because, I'm deriding the performance that was poor. But that's a touchdown play that was called. It was an interesting situation because it was like a first down thing, so it wasn't really like a shot time, which is kind of cool from Rhett Lashley that he called a play that's a shot play in a non-shot, take a shot up top time. But if that ball is thrown, go back and look it up. If the ball is thrown, it's a touchdown. There was another one that to the bottom of the field on the short side, they ran a post wheel combo with a switch to it. It's one of your favorite plays in the 4 wide, 5 wide NCAA playbook. So outside receiver switches inside, runs a post, inside receiver switches outside and runs the wheel. That post wheel, a lot of teams will use that combo because you go to the post and then the wheel is wide open. That's exactly what happened. Derek King panicked a little bit, saw some ghosts, why offensive line had been bad, and he threw it like it was a back shoulder, but the wheel, I think it was to Harley, the wheel was open, and if you throw that to the end zone, go get it, that's another touchdown. All of that to say, that's at least 2 shot plays plus 2 other drives that came up empty for Miami. You can't have that and be competitive against Alabama. That's 28 points right there. I know that we lost by 31. I'm not saying that it all of a sudden would have been 44-41, but if you hit 2 of those, now all of a sudden it's 44-27. That looks and feels a lot different, right? But it was just there a level factor of 10, whatever you want to call it, better. And, they proved it. Again, Bryce Young shot up the board. He's now the Heisman favorite after his record-setting performance because no Alabama quarterback had thrown for as many yards or 4 touchdowns in an opener as he did. Miami actually did well against the run, and I know that sounds crazy from what it looked like early, but Alabama ended up with under 4 yards per carry. So you're swarming, get some tackles for loss. I think we had 11 tackles for loss on the day, only 1 sack, but you did a little bit better against the run, and that should be at least the one small positive that we can take away because it was clear by intent that the desire was to be better against the run than other teams have been against Alabama and that Miami was against North Carolina. So he came out and said, look, we're going to do everything that we can to stop the running game or curtail it as much as we can to control it. And at least seeing that some of that came to fruition has to be the positive that we take away.
So back to that 3rd and 7 call. I'm not debating what you stated about the approach or the mindset. What I don't understand is, okay, it's 3rd and 7. There's a 5%, 8% chance of running that play for a first down against that defense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe Derek King is compromised and only 85 or 90%. So he's not the running threat that he normally would be. You do have a veteran quarterback, and it's only 7 yards. It's not 3rd and 17. It's 3rd and 7. Can't you throw a conservative pass where you can trust your quarterback and give a guy in space a chance to break a tackle or drag a guy for 2.5 or 3 yards to get the first down?
Mm-hmm.
For example, to contrast that play call versus in the aforementioned Florida State Notre Dame game, Notre Dame had a 3rd and 17. They ran a screen, perfectly executed. They went for like 40 yards, and whomever was doing the game was raving about this play call, which of course it was the proper call to make, and it was very effective. But I was thinking, isn't that the play call that you make on 3rd and 17? Like, I could have made that play call. It's a conservative pass to throw. Unless a D lineman blows up the play, it's not going to get picked off. So you're not going to turn over. You're basically handing the ball to your best player with a convoy. That's the call that you make on 3rd and 17. So I didn't understand necessarily the lauding of that play call.
Well,
but the
I
3rd
think
and 7, I just don't get. Just to further my point before you take off on this, in terms of trying to minimize the game, minimize the damage, minimize the score, and get out of there, that's more so the call that I would think would have been made if it was 28-7 with 13 or 14 minutes left, and we're just trying to get out of here, and 28-7 doesn't look awful. Let's not make this 42-7.
Right. I will say that I think that the real genius conversation about the play call, the screen in the Notre Dame game, was the fact that Florida State brought pressure from that side, and you want to replace the pressure with the throw, which if you want to see a quarterback replacing the pressure with the throw, go look at what Bryce Young did against Miami, because we blitzed him a whole bunch. And it was like, cool, you're blitzing from there? I'm going to throw the ball right there. You're blitzing from there? Throw the ball right there. And I think that was part of it in that situation. Yeah, it was, and I have a different site pulled up with all of the plays. And yes, that 3rd and 7 derailed it, but 2 plays before that, Zion Nelson had a false start. We get 5 yards on a run on 1st down, so you're 2nd and 5, and then you get a false start, so it's 2nd and 10. Now you come back with another run after the false start, so now 3 yards on that one. Now it's 3rd and 7, and then you do that. I mean, it's just, and then they walk down didn't walk down the field. It was a long drive, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 play drive, 11 plays, including the field goal. Now it's 10-0, and things like that. But yeah, I just wanted it again to be more competitive. I wanted to see, like, there was a lot of things that didn't connect. Another one, and this can be on Lashley, it could be on King if he was the one who called it. Why are we going hurry up on 4th and goal for inside with you don't have Cam Newton back there. You know what I mean? And you do a quarterback sneak from shotgun. So you're on the inch line. You snap it back to the 7 with the guy who's 5'10", 200 pounds-ish. And then why, if it were me, whoa, slow the tempo. Because if we're going on, and that's a decision I have no problem with, of going for it on 4th and 1 or inside the 1. No problem with the decision. Terrible play call and execution. But for me, even though it was pretty apparent to the naked eye, I'm lobbying that referee or the line judge and saying, are you sure Don Chaney didn't get in on that 3rd down play? Are you sure? Because he was in the middle of all those bodies. We can just call. Look, I'm just saying. No, I'm not calling it timeout. But hey, maybe you guys should get together and look at it. Right? Now you slow it down. You do that. That's a free timeout. That's a time where you now plan your best play from the inch line. If you think the play that was run from there is the best play, you do that. I, for one, do not think that was the best option play. The best play in the playbook for that situation against this opponent in that spot. I don't think that was that. Speaking of calls that were missed, the next drive that was intentional grounding, he was not outside of the pocket in the end zone. The ball got over the line. He was in the thing that people miss, and even the commentators missed, is the right tackle moved in on the blocking, right? So he's not where he was. He's like, oh, he's outside the right tackle. He's outside where the right tackle ended. He's not outside of the tackle box, which is defined by the outside shoulder of the left tackle and the outside shoulder of the right tackle at the snap. So you have that. And then, again, now you come back after that. Should have been a safety. Very deflated, but it's 3rd and something. So you figure, okay, from the 6-yard line. And then you get a blown coverage, and they hit you up top for 94 yards. Like, it's the little things, man. And all these little details, again, a lesser team than Alabama hits you for 40 yards, and it's 1st and 10 on the 45-yard line. Jamison Williams hits you for 94 up top. All of a sudden, you change the scoreboard, cue up the band, and I see Manny screaming at the referee, that's on you, that's on you. For one, he's right. But for two, you can't have it shows, again, the level of talent disparity between Miami and Alabama, because other teams aren't going to hit you for 94 on the blown coverage in that spot, on that blown coverage. And again, Bama boy, I'm not making excuses. You all have a better team, a more well-coached team, because clearly we were not prepared appropriately. Again, this is the thing that I've been saying about Miami. Every time that we come in, I hear from Manny Diaz, well, they did something different than we thought, or they did da-da-da-da-da. There's never an accounting for the malleability of another team. But every other team has now already cut us off at the pass of, we're going to do this differently. And they're like, oh, you know what? I've seen this from film on Miami. They're going to do this, and let's prepare for the other thing, and then it's appropriate. I need to see Miami be more well-coached and prepared. So again, I'm not taking anything away from you guys. I believe that you were going to win. I said that you all would win. But if some of these interior details that I'm talking about went differently, to the point that was a few comments ago, if everything that I said in the first part of my little diatribe here went better, then that's probably an additional 20 points for Miami. That could have been it. It could have been. You probably could have had another touchdown for Alabama as well. But even with an additional 20 points, you still win by 2 scores. But for me, on this side of the street, I was looking for a 2-score game to be the level of competition, and that would have been emblematic of potential future growth and performance, a la what Florida State is talking about by not getting their doors blown off, being very competitive with the top 10 team all the way through the game. They're saying, hey, we were this close against Notre Dame. Look at what we can do. Miami doesn't have that ability because we really got blown out pretty badly. So, again, I'm not taking anything away from Alabama. The gold standard in this game and in general. However, I am being pointedly critical about things for Miami that could have been better, that could have portended a better performance for the Canes in other games coming down the line this season.